Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm your facilitator Shalini with yet another video on the much awaited From the Diary of Anne Frank. See, this chapter is basically based on the quote laziness might be attractive, but work gives satisfaction. So, if you people are lazy, just leave that and just start working on studies, okay? Basically, this chapter from the Diary of Anne Frank, it's an excerpt from Diary of a Young Girl. So, as it is a first person narration, so it's an autobiography published in 1947. It was a diary which was gifted to this little girl with the name Anne on her 13th birthday, and we'll find the first person narration out there in this particular chapter. Okay. See, Betu, this chapter begins with like writing in diary is really a strange experience for someone like me. Means when she is sharing her thoughts at her own. It means it's the first person narration. Okay, वो खुद के बारे में बात कर रही है. वो कह रही है कि इट्स रियली रियली वेरी स्ट्रेंज कि डायरी लिखना. ठीक है, कहती क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने इससे पहले कभी डायरी नहीं लिखी. ऐसा तो नहीं है, लेकिन एक्चुअली द थिंग इज़ कि मुझे ऐसा लगा कि किसी और को क्या इंटरेस्ट होगा एक बच्ची के पीरियड ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन और थॉट को समझने में. बेटा, म्यूजिंग्स हियर मीन्स अ पीरियड ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन और थॉट. ओके, कि कोई भी 13 ईयर ओल्ड स्कूल गर्ल की डायरी को पढ़ने में क्यों इंटरेस्टेड होगा. ओके, तो वो कहती है कि एक्चुअली इसलिए फिर वो मुझे थोड़ा सा अजीब लग रहा था. ओके, लेकिन फाइनली व्हेन दिस डायरी वॉज गिफ्टेड टू मी, I was really feeling great, and then I started off writing with the diary. So when she started off writing the diary, she developed a viewpoint that paper has more patience than people. कि पेपर में, कागज में लोगों से ज़्यादा सहन शक्ति है. ठीक है, कि अगर हम थोड़े से डिप्रेस्ड हैं या घर पे अकेले बैठे हुए हैं, है ना, तो अगर हम कुछ भी लिखेंगे तो पेपर विल नॉट शेयर इट विद एनी वन. नो, but if we'll tell something like this to any of the person, he'll one fine day he'll just spill the beans, you know. Okay, so वो कहती है कि actually I was it's a time when I started diary because at home I was just sitting alone and I was putting my chin in my hands and I was really wondering कि क्या करना चाहिए. Okay, I finally stayed where I was brooding, and then since I wasn't planning to read any new stuff or whatever, I was given a diary, and that time I was pretty satisfied because I got a real friend. Because I never had a friend, and I never knew with whom to share feelings. Okay, so now she is back to the point that prompted her to write in the diary, and thus she started in the first narration. And she doesn't have a friend. Now she is like she started off like कि आपको बिल्कुल क्लियरली बता दूं कि 13 ईयर ओल्ड गर्ल यानी कि मैं दुनिया में अकेली नहीं हूँ. आई एम हैविंग अ लविंग father, a mother, and a 16-year-old sister. लेकिन and around 30 people in my family, loving aunts and a good home. Lekin still I am feeling lonely. This is because I am feeling the necessity of a true friend. Somebody is missing in my life, no, with whom I can share my feelings, with whom I can confide. Means I can just have confidence that that particular person will not spill the beans, no. And unfortunately, I have not got that friend as of now. And to enhance that the image of long awaited friend of my imagination, I started jotting down. I started means writing down the experience in this diary. And now because this diary is my friend, so I have just called her किटी. सो वेन एवर इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट को वो एनिमेट मीन्स ह्यूमन क्वालिटीज, ह्यूमन ट्रेट्स दे रहा है, नाम दे रहा है ना. सो हियर पर्सोनिफिकेशन इज देयर. ओके, नाउ सिंस नो वन वुड अंडरस्टैंड अ वर्ड ऑफ माई स्टोरीज टू किटी, अब वो कहती है कि मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जब ये डायरी पब्लिश होगी ना तो शायद ये किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगा, तो मुझे थोड़ा सा अपनी लाइफ का ब्रीफ सा स्केच देना पड़ेगा। तो वो बताती है कि माई फादर was the most adorable father I have ever seen. And he never married until he attained the age of 36, and my mother attained the age of 25. Then they were blessed with a daughter, and they just gave her the name Margot. After that, in 1926, Margot was born, and after that, after 3 years, in June of 1929, this girl Anne was brought to the world. Okay, now she lived in Frankfurt till she was 4, and because her father emigrated to Holland, and then her mother also, and then finally Margot, and towards the end she was also taken to that place. I followed in February, and when I was, she is just taking a bit of a comic twitch in it, that कि जब मुझे वहाँ पे ले जाया गया तो मुझे टेबल पे ऐसा रखा एज इफ आई वॉज अ बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू मार्गॉट, कि जैसे मैं मार्गॉट के लिए एक बर्थडे गिफ्ट हूँ. ओके, आई स्टार्टेड राइट अवे एट द मंटेसरी नर्सिंग स्कूल. आई स्टेड हियर अंटिल आई वॉज 6. कहती कि मैंने मोंटेसरी नर्सिंग स्कूल से अपनी पढ़ाई शुरू करी और मैं वहाँ पे रही जब तक कि मैं 6 साल की थी. ठीक है. इन द 6th फॉर्म माई टीचर वॉज मिसेज क्यूप्रस, द हेड मिस्ट्रेस. तो मेरी जो टीचर थी वो कौन थी? मिसेज क्यूप्रस थी. ठीक है. कहती जब मैंने वो स्कूल छोड़ा तो हम दोनों की आंखों में आंसू थे, एज इफ वी आर जस्ट bidding farewell to each other. In the year 1941, Anne's grandma fell ill and she was being operated. So that is why the birthday of Anne was not celebrated with pomp and glory. And grandma died in the January of 1942. And she is like कि no one knows how often I think of her, कि किसी को शायद ये नहीं पता कि मुझे आज भी अपनी ग्रैंड माँ की कितनी याद आती है और मैं उनसे बहुत प्यार करती हूँ. ठीक है. ओके. द then the four of us are still doing well, and that brings to the present date of 20 June 1942. कहती फिर ये आज हम चारों लोग, मतलब वो उसके सिस्टर और उसके पेरेंट्स अभी भी ठीक ठाक हैं. and it's basically a solemn, means deep, with deep sincerity, a solemn dedication to her diary. Okay, towards the next chapter, now she is just started off writing things, and she has written like, dearest Kitty, our entire class is quaking in its boots. Beta, it's a phrase and it means that shaking with fear and nervousness. Okay. Reason was the same, that it was the day of result. Okay. And more than half of the class was busy making bets. No, there were two people, one was GN and other was CN, and GN and I laughed ourselves silly at make टू बॉयज बिहाइंड अस. कहता वो सारे लोग ना हंस रहे थे, मतलब एक्चुअली वो लोग ऐसे बात कर रहे थे कि दैट पर्सन इज गोइंग टू पास, यू आर गोइंग टू पास, आई एम नॉट, यस यू आर, नो आई एम नॉट, है ना. इवन जी इज प्लीडिंग ग्लांसेज एंड माई एंग्री आउटबर्स्ट कांट काम देम डाउन. कहती मैं उनको घूर भी रही थी और उनको कुछ और गर्ल्स जो थी वो उनको लुक मतलब प्लीडिंग लुक्स, रिक्वेस्टिंग लुक्स भी दे रही थी, लेकिन उनको कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ रहा था. ठीक है. Then she added on कि यार I don't know, but teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Teachers का कहती समझ में नहीं आता है. I'm not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. कहती मुझे अपनी friends जो कि girls थी उनकी और अपनी कोई चिंता नहीं थी. The only subject I am not sure about is maths, because she wasn't good, she might not be good at maths, no, so she wasn't sure about that she'll get through maths, no. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then we keep telling each other not to lose heart. तब हम एक दूसरे को बोल रहे थे कि भाई कोई बात नहीं, all is well, all is well. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. कहती फिर मैं अपने सभी टीचर्स के साथ ना बहुत अच्छे से मिक्सअप हो जाती थी. And there are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. 9 लोग थे वो, 7 men थे और 2 women थे. Mr. Keesing, the old foggy, वो जो था वो हु टीचेस मैथ्स वॉज अनॉयड विद मी, वो मेरे से बड़ा गुस्सा था, ऐसा लगता था जन्म से गुस्सा है वो मेरे से। मैं कुछ भी बोलती थी तो वो मुझे वार्निंग्स ही देता रहता था, because actually this girl was quite talkative, no, she keep chattering every time. Now what happened, besides several warnings, when this, and she never just changed her habit. So what this person did, he assigned me homework. So Mr. Keesing assigned an essay to this girl N, and the name of the essay was a chatterbox. Okay, now she started writing it. She never just argued with the teacher, she just jotted down. Jotted down means जल्दी से उसने लिख लिया और अपनी नोटबुक को बैग में डाल दिया। उस इवनिंग को उसको लगा कि पहले छोड़ देती हूँ, बट देन शी सेड कि नो, इफ द टीचर हैज असाइंड आई शुड गिव my 100%. So she wrote down the essay in her own words, no, and she always spoke the truth. She was having convincing arguments, like, no, and she was like, I will not be able to cure myself because I have got this habit of talkative nature from my mother, you know. And Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my argument. So Mr. Keesing, when he just went through the essay, she started laughing like anything. And but next day again, a new essay, an incorrigible chatterbox. इस नाम से उन्होंने दे दिया. I handed it in. Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons. उसने वो भी लिख दिया. तो मिस्टर कीजिंग क्या कंप्लेन करते. लेकिन नेक्स्ट टाइम उन्होंने एक और ऐसे दिया, एंड इट वॉज क्वैक 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 सेड मिस्ट्रेस चैटरबॉक्स. सारी क्लास हंसने लग पड़ी और कहती मुझे भी हंसना पड़ा बिकॉज आई वॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एग्जॉस्टेड विद दोज एसेज, बट जस्ट टू कीप a liaison that I'm not offended, or I'll just follow it up and I'm not feeling insulted, I had to laugh, no. So then my friend, means the friend of N, she suggested, उसने suggest किया यार रहने दो, कोई बात नहीं, इस बार ही हम पोम के उसमें लिखते हैं, and I'll be helping you with the poem because that girl was quite good at poetry, no. So they started writing a poem, and it was about a mother duck and a father swan with 3 baby ducklings. ठीक है, उसने बोला कि एक मदर डक थी, फादर स्वान था और उनके 3 बेबी डकलिंग्स थे जो कि हु वर बीटन टू डेथ बाय द अदर बिकॉज दे क्वैक्ड टू मच. क्योंकि वो बहुत ज़्यादा क्वैक क्वैक करते थे तो उनके डैड ने उनको मार मार के मार दिया. लकीली मिस्टर कीजिंग टुक द जोक द राइट वे. ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि मिस्टर कीजिंग को गुस्सा आया, उन्होंने इस जोक को बहुत पॉजिटिव लाइट में लिया. And he started reading this poem to the whole class, and even he keeps adding his own comments, and he has narrated this poem in several classes, no. Since then, उसके बाद उन्होंने मुझे क्लास में बात करना अलाउ कर दिया. And he also assigned me, he never assigned me extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing is always making jokes these days. तो अब उनकी जो नेचर है वो थोड़ी सी बेटर हो गई है, and he is creating jokes after jokes. And then yours and extracted from the diary of a young girl. ओके थोड़ी सी इसमें अडेप्टेशंस उन्होंने करी होंगी बेटू. सो दिस वॉज द स्टोरी फ्रॉम द डायरी ऑफ अ young girl. Actually this diary was being written by this girl N when she was, because she was a Jewish girl, and when the Nazis were there in the power, so they have to live in hidden rooms, no. So that time when she was confined to those very rooms, she thought of writing the diary, and she shared her feelings in the form of small notes written to her best friend, the diary with the name Kitty. So I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.